Well, good morning. Hello to Wingman Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Daphne Bascom, and I'm your host for today's interview. Today's guest has been a friend and colleague of mine for over 10 years. Vesime and I share a passion for partnering with friends, family, colleagues, you name it, related to how to make small changes in your health, your lifestyle, in order to become the best you possible. And I'm excited to have Vesime Schroering join us today. I invited Veggie Ves, as she is calling herself, or as I'm calling her, to share with you today her experience adopting a whole food plant-based diet for Veganuary. Vesime, thank you for accepting my invitation for an interview, and welcome to Wingman Wellness. Could you briefly introduce yourself to the audience this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Daphne. I'm really excited to share my experience in a plant-based diet. I'm a mom of 3. I have a full-time job with a healthcare IT company, and I run a side business focused on health and wellness. Needless to say, I'm a little busy, but really my passion for health and wellness takes a top priority in my life, and it has been an amazing journey.
And Vesime, how long have you been engaged in health and wellness?
Yeah, I've always had a passion for health and wellness. In fact, I actually majored in nutrition for my first year in college, but quickly changed over to business marketing because I had a change in interest. But over the past 4 years, I have really had a bigger focus on my health. As my loved ones get older and I see it firsthand, taking care of myself, I know is extremely important and really just as important as taking care of all of the others around me.
So it sounds like you've been healthy all of your life. Is that the case, or do you have any significant family history that has made you more interested in being healthy?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So looking back at my childhood, my mother really did cook. I come from a Turkish background. My mother cooked really healthy foods, the Mediterranean diet, very plant-based, really. But I will have to say I deviated from that during my high school and college years. I thought eating, not eating so much would help my weight maintenance. And it really spiraled into a really terrible eating habit where I would end up having a chocolate chip muffin and an iced coffee for majority of the morning, first half of the day, and then a dinner. And it just wasn't until I got engaged to be married did I start to pay attention to my eating habits and really have it positioned me into my fitness journey. And it was actually the training of my wedding that sprung me into this fitness craze and nutritional rebalancing. Having said that, then I had kids, and in regards to my family history, yeah, my dad's side has diabetes. We also have heart disease in our family as well. So 2 very popular chronic conditions. And as a matter of fact, my 3rd pregnancy, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. So it was a firsthand experience, and I learned a lot. I had to go through many courses, and as a pregnant woman, it was really not easy because all you want to do is eat ice cream.
But you didn't have any residual effects of gestational diabetes.
Not afterwards. As a matter of fact, as soon as I delivered my baby, they said, "Okay, pick anything from this menu." And I looked at them thinking, "Wait, are you sure? Are you sure?" So I got a black bean burger and sweet potato fries, and it was the best I had eaten. But then I quickly transitioned into a more conscious way of eating, knowing that I really do carry that gene.
And Vesime, what prompted you to try a plant-based diet?
Yeah, so I have a healthy diet now. I'm much more mindful of how I eat and what fuels my body, but watching others take a more plant-based approach, I felt like I needed to maybe give it a try. And then, of course, I'm a former marketing major. So as soon as I saw Veganuary and you're posting new Veganuary, I thought, maybe now is the right time. So I just went ahead and jumped in.
And can you share a little bit about your Veganuary journey?
Yes. So it is very, actually quite easier than I thought it would be.
Uh-huh.
So, I am eating more. It's just an alter. So, as my kids may eat a ground chicken breast for Taco Tuesday, I cook lentils with a clean taco seasoning.
Mhm.
And so it's just a shift. And instead of the meat, there's always a substitute. I'm also eliminating gluten, and I'm also eliminating soy. So that actually really strikes out any type of tofu or some other vegan, very popular based foods. But, I've found alternatives and it's quite easy, I think.
That's good to hear because a lot of people tend to think that one, eating plant-based is more expensive, and two, that it's more work. But really, if you think about just the multitude of plant-based options you have, the variety is extraordinary.
It really is. And as a matter of fact, I think that, back to the whole price thing, I thought the same thing. I will be 100, because constantly keeping up with fresh vegetables, and also, now everything is branded vegan and they have a higher price tag, but you
Correct.
deviate from that because those are not necessarily the foods that are a whole food based diet. So, vegetables, yes, maybe I make an extra trip to the grocery store or I Instacart one more time per week. But really looking at it, an $8 packet of chicken tenderloins that I still get because my kids are not going vegan this month, compared to a $2 bag of lentils, I think it's not that expensive. As a matter of fact, it's quite cheaper.
And for people who may be interested, are options such as imperfect foods, where you can have fresh vegetables delivered step on a regular basis. And having fresh produce in the house is definitely easier than you would think it could be, and not
Absolutely.
necessarily overly expensive. So, can
Right.
you share
I
with the
agree.
audience what some of the main benefits you found of following a plant-based diet?
Immediately I was standing outside with my mom and she was like, "Your skin is amazing." And then I was like, "Really? Okay, let me look."
Your
And
skin
I
is
really
amazing.
saw, thank you. I really did. I use really wonderful skincare products, but also I had been using those. And I really did see a big change in my skin immediately.
Mhm.
The other things throughout this journey I've noticed is a little calmer. I feel maybe there's a little bit more zen in my body, going through my body, but I'm also sleeping better. So that I absolutely think that good sleep is so important and we underestimate that. And so I am sleeping so much better than I had before. And I think that that absolutely has made a difference in my overall health.
And Vesima, you mentioned that you're a mom of three and a wonderful wife to a wonderful husband. Has it been difficult trying to cook different meals for all different members of your family?
At first, I will say yes, it was a little challenging because I was new to it. I was looking up different recipes. So normally I have my staple things that we make during the week. I may sprinkle in a new recipe here and there, and following a recipe while you're cooking obviously takes a little bit more time. So it did take me a good week and a half to get my basic, okay, now instead of ground meat, I can use lentils, right? And instead of, I can make a batch of quinoa ahead of time so that I just easily can make a power bowl. And so I think I got into the swing of things. So I do preparation is key. I will say that. And having a plan of attack is also key. So, I just made a quinoa chili and I thought maybe I made a separate, it was a vegan quinoa chili is the title of it, but I made a separate a meal for my kids and they ended up eating my chili. And so what I thought would be something I could eat for 2-3 meals, it was only one meal left, one serving left after the end of our meal. So everybody really enjoyed it. And so they are They actually really quite enjoy what I'm eating and always want to take a taste. They're very curious, which is, I think, a good thing.
It's wonderful. And you're such a great influence on not only your family, but everyone who follows you on social media and all your friends
Aw.
that you positively
Aw.
influence.
Thank you so much, Daphne.
And Vesime, you mentioned something that I just want to follow up on, which is with the plethora of processed plant-based foods. During this month of January for Veganuary, have you focused on more whole foods, or have you incorporated some of the more highly processed vegan foods that are appearing on the market?
So I will be, again, very transparent. At first, I was like deer in headlights. I didn't know what I could eat. And so I immediately went to a ease, just the first very simple, like, okay, I'm just going to get some crackers and hummus. And I was eating, and, you have to read the labels.
Yes, you
We
do.
still need to read the labels, whether it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that vegan is healthy. I won't give any names, but absolutely read labels on every single thing. And so I will say that it just ended up being, okay, a more whole food approach is going to require a little bit more prep, but is absolutely worth it. And so instead of grabbing those crackers and hummus, I had prepared, carrots and hummus. And so, absolutely, I shifted quickly after the first week to a more whole foods option. So carrots dipped in guacamole, a clean guacamole, or avocado on a rice cake. I mean, I think that those are the variations and combinations are very vast, which I absolutely. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but then I was like, oh, it's like a whole new world. So I have a new mantra: go to the refrigerator first, not the pantry.
And that's a great mantra.
Yeah.
And what advice would you offer to someone who is thinking about taking this plant-based journey? Anything, any lessons that you've learned over the past several weeks that you can share?
So I would say absolutely give it a try. There is so much information that can be very overwhelming to people. So I would say take small bites. And
Mhm.
so you may not necessarily want to jump in all vegan 100%, but I knew that if I didn't, I wouldn't experience it. So I did jump in. That's just my personality, that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But you can become more, eliminate eggs or eliminate dairy or eliminate, different components that are not plant-based and incorporate the plant-based as a substitute. So absolutely, I would say do it. I think that you have nothing to lose. I have learned so much in a short period of time going vegan.
And as the month of January winds down, what are your plans after Veganuary is over?
Yeah, I think that I will continue. I will continue. I think Veganuary was an eye-opening experience for me, with just how much it has, just going vegan has an impact on our earth, and the animals. And I mean, not just animals, right? We know that, but just, carbon emissions, just
Mhm.
overall. And I think that I will get into this cadence of, yes, absolutely. I will maybe eat meat very less than I did before. And so I will continue plant-based. I may not be extremely as strict as I was this month, but we'll see. I want to see what happens to my body if I do reintroduce like chicken or fish or an egg and see what happens. I know that there's going to be some effects and I will feel it. So yeah, we'll see. But definitely more plant-based than I have in the past.
That's great to hear. On my run this morning, I was thinking, for some reason, I think in acronyms, and I thought of HAE, HAE, health, animals, and environment. I think that
Yes.
my exploration of a plant-based lifestyle started with health-related reasons. And as I learned more about the impact of what we eat and how we eat it on animals and the environment, there were things that I just had not connected the dots. So would encourage anyone listening to take that journey and explore. And there's so many powerful documentaries that help explain things about the food system that I had never appreciated prior to really starting to dive deep into eating a more whole food, plant-based nutrition. So as we wind up our conversation this morning, and again, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy day. Is there anything you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I would just say if you are contemplating going vegan, do absolutely try it. There are so many amazing recipes, so many blogs. I think, Daphne, you have been such a great mentor to me and you have guided me in so many ways. And so I absolutely think that just following your journey has inspired me, and I think others should as well, if they haven't. So absolutely, I think that we have one body, we have one life, and we just need to treat it well.
Amen. And we have one planet.
That's right.
Vesime, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time. It is always a joy to speak with you. You've given us a lot to reflect on. And if people want to reach out to you or follow you and follow your journey, and as you mentioned, you have a business which is thriving and having such a positive impact on so many people, where can we reach you?
Yeah, so you can reach me at my Instagram handle is Vesime_S, and we could post that. And then I also have my own business website, and we could post that too. It's very long because my name is extremely long, so we got to shorten that to a Veggie Ves.
Veggie Ves or Vegemite?
Yeah, right. Either one. Daphne, thank you so much for the opportunity of speaking with everyone. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and have a wonderful day.
You too.